audio wasn't working, so I decided to start a new live streaming. I only got 400 people on that one, so not bad. But anyways, we're talking about this guy named Joshua Abraham Norton who lived in 1849, and he was part of the gold rush, and it's a very interesting story. But essentially, he lost everything, and I guess he had a breakdown. But not so, I would call it a breakdown from his former life. It doesn't mean he was crazy necessarily. He had a breakdown of the way he was, and now he's ascended. He's living a different kind of life, and he just assumed the role of emperor. That's just the personality he had. He had this kind of breakdown of his former self, and now he has this. He just assumed the role of emperor, and so that's very interesting. I find it very interesting. A very interesting character. It's someone you've never heard of before, and I've never heard of this guy before, and it's very interesting. Let's continue. He seemed to relish their unconventional reputation, such as they embraced Norton as one of their own. He rode the streetcars for free. Whenever he entered a theater or restaurant, patrons would rise in respect, silence, and salute. He even had 3 seats permanently reserved in front row of the San Francisco House. Wow. One for him and one for each of his dogs. That's amazing. A public referendum initiated by the council resulted in funds to keep him supplied with the new uniforms as his old ones were out. That's amazing. In return for all the good deeds, the emperor saw to it that his was a kind and gentle reign. His subjects were always treated fairly and equally, regardless of race, religion, or social standing. Twice a year, he would review the police and fire departments as they paraded by, then make a grand speech to the crowds. He printed his own money, which was accepted in business establishments around San Francisco as legal tender. This is real. When bicycles came out, San Franciscans got him a bicycle too. When one of his dogs died, 10,000 people turned out for a state funeral. That's crazy. Looking back, some San Franciscans argued that their old leader was ahead of his time. For example, he called upon leaders of the world to join him in forming a League of Nations, in which disputes between nations could be resolved peacefully. He also proposed that a suspension span bridge be built across the spot where Golden Gate now stands. He even laid out a complete design that looks remarkably similar to the bridge that was built 60 years after his death. Whoa! We're talking about a real guy here who lived in San Francisco. He was known as the Emperor of the United States. I kid you not. This is a real man. In 1849, when Abraham Lincoln and the Civil War, that was happening. This guy was the Emperor of the United States. His name, Joshua Abraham Norton. So many of the decrees attributed to Norton the First were fakes, written perhaps in jest by newspaper editors for amusement and political purposes. Others, however, were the real thing, including one issued December 2nd, 1859, dismissing Governor Wise of Virginia for the hanging of John Brown and replacing him with John C. Breckinridge of Kentucky. Another decree issued July 16, 1860, dissolved the United States. On October 1st, that same year, he issued another proclamation barring Congress from meeting in Washington, D.C. Other decrees demand that a worldwide Bible convention be held in San Francisco and that a city of Sacramento clean its muddy streets and place gas lights on streets leading to the capital. Emperor Norton I reigned for 4 days. On January 8, 1880, the beloved leader dropped dead in California streets at Grave Avenue while on his way to a lecture at the Academy of Natural Sciences. The next day, the Morning Call newspaper noted on the front page that Norton I, by the grace of God, Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico, departed this life. On January 10th, he was buried at cemetery with more than 10,000 mourners in attendance. Funeral cortege was 2 miles long. In 1934, Emperor Norton I was reburied in Woodland Cemetery by the citizens of San Francisco. A marble slab was placed on his grave with the simple inscription, Norton I, Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico, Joshua Abraham Norton, 1819 through 1880. An editorial of the San Francisco Bulletin had this to say about his eccentric son. The Emperor Norton killed nobody, robbed nobody, and deprived nobody of his country, which is more than can be said for most fellows in his trade. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Check that out. I just discovered this very interesting character in our history. Real person, right? Undefeatable facts, right? He was the emperor of America. He would walk around and people would give him free stuff. He had he had front row seats at the opera. He had, you know, he arranged for presidential meetings and talked and had discussions. He had thousands of followers. That's insane. But I like that. I mean, obviously he's an eccentric person, right? No authority, but people would play into it, right? But it's funny because when it comes down to it, the editorial, the San Francisco Bulletin, had this to say about the city's eccentric son. Right? We're talking about Abraham Norton, otherwise known as Norton the First, the Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico. So yeah, the Emperor Norton killed nobody, robbed nobody, and deprived nobody of his country, which is more than can be said for the most fellows in his trade. That is so good. That is so good. Oh, that is so good. I can't believe this is real. Joshua Abraham Norton. Look him up. Google him. The Emperor of San Francisco. San Francisco's eccentric son. Which I'm sure they have a ton. I mean, I've seen. There's a guy right now who's 5. He's San Francisco's Santa Claus. He dresses as Santa Claus every day, and he goes all out, and everybody knows him as San Francisco's Santa Claus. I don't know if he's still alive, but I saw a documentary about it. That's a good story. I need to put a bookmark in this thing because I want to save it. I want to save it. I want to save it. Joshua Abraham Norton. Wow. My mind is blown. So there's all kinds of people here. We got all kinds. We got Jane Addams, the most dangerous woman in America. Ooh. P.T. Burnham, Crown Prince of Humbug. Joel Beltrami, dapper explorer, was doomed to wander. Ambrose Bierce, nobody will find my old bones. Madame Blavatsky, high priestess of the weird. Ooh, we gotta read that one. Page 21. Welcome. If you're channel, we're just reading from a book called The Good, the Bad, and the Good. Madame Blavatsky, high priestess of the weird. Let's see how long this is. It's not that long. Into the shadowy world of Ouija boards, senseis, and ghostly rappings from beyond, there once sauntered a controversial character whose alleged mystical powers and outlandish theories on religion, the cosmos, and lost civilizations shocked and entertained a generation of Americans. Helene Petrovna Blavatsky, known to legions of devoted followers as Madame Blavatsky, was a guiding force behind the spiritual renaissance of the late 1870s. that saw the reputations and financial fortunes of mediums and mystics surge to new heights of respectability. At one point, this chain-smoking, hot-tempered daughter of a Russian nobility and founder of the Theosophical Society would boast that she was more popular than either the King of England or the President of the United States. Interesting. In spite of her great popularity, however, there were those who insisted that Madame Blavatsky was nothing more than a fraud, a vulgar adventuress. She once wrote, "I am repeatedly reminded of the fact that as a public character, as a woman who instead of pursuing her womanly duties, sleeping with her husband, breeding children, wiping their noses, minding her kitchen, and consoling herself with matrimonial assistance on the sly and behind her husband's back, I have chosen a path that has led me to notoriety and fame, and as therefore I had to expect all that befell me." Wow. Born Helene, it's Helene, Helene Petrovna Han in Tsarist Russia, the future spiritual leader early showed a marked interest in fantasy and make-believe. One of her favorite childhood games was to entertain friends by telling them stories about invisible. Telling skills were said to be so great that she often frightened the other children and made them have nightmares. When she was 16, Helene married Nikifor Blavatsky, a government official 30 years her senior. What, 16? The marriage, no wonder she was not into the whole marriage thing. She got married at 16. While still in her teens, Madame Blavatsky, a tall, striking beauty with dark hair and exceptionally blue eyes, embarked on a series of global travels and adventures that would eventually take her to America. Interesting. For the next 25 years, she wandered the world, visiting hidden monasteries in Tibet and the catacombs of Rome and Paris, and studying. I've been to the catacombs of Rome myself. I've been underneath the Vatican, and I've been to the Vatican, and I met the Pope. So, Tibet. I've never been to Tibet. That'd be interesting. I've been to Paris. I've never been to Egypt though. Going to Egypt, that would be amazing. She's been studying the secrets of the Egyptian pyramids, eventually winding up in New York in June 1873. Couldn't have been better. Madame Blavatsky, now plump and graying, was immediately caught up in the wave of spiritualism and interest in occult phenomena sweeping the nation. At a sensei in Vermont, she met Colonel Henry S. Olcott, a newspaper man, lawyer, and ardent spirit. The pair teamed up to form an organization called Theosophical Society. The Theosophical Society, after the Greek words for God and wisdom. The society's stated purpose was to investigate ancient mysteries such as the secrets of the pyramids, the nature of people, and of the distant past. Sorry, I need some water. A how do you say it? Theosophist. Theosophist. I've never seen that word before, so excuse me. A theosophist, Madame Blavatsky once wrote, is one who gives you a theory of God or the works of God which has not revelation, but an inspirational of his own for its basis. I like that. I like that a lot. To view every great thinker and philosopher, especially every founder of a new religion, philosophy, or sect, is necessarily what? How do you say that? Theosophist. Theo, Theo, Sophist. Theosophist. Hence, she concludes theosophist. That's it. theosophist. What a weird word. A theosophist. That's okay. Theosophy. I've never heard this word or seen this word in my life. Theosophy and theosophists have existed ever since the glimmering of nascent thought made man seek instinctively for the means of expressing his own independent opinions. Exactly. Theosophy. I keep saying Theosophy is the archaic wisdom, religion, esoteric doctrine once known in every ancient country and claims to civilization, which makes a lot of sense. Like astrology. But this is different. I've never heard of this. This is different. In 1875, Madame Blavatsky published her first enormous and very confusing volume called Ice Unveiled, where generally harsh reviews, but the massive work did succeed in gaining large numbers of occult followers. Highly successful, the book was followed by another in 1888 called The Secret Doctrine. In this landmark two-volume book, Madame Blavatsky reported the revelatory spirits from the Orient had taught her about the lost continents of Atlantis and Lemuria. What? Hold on, this Atlantis and stuff, that's like Egyptian stuff, though. You know, that's not. I don't know. I don't know if I believe that or it's just more mythology, part of mythological stories. But I myself have to go into that. I can't tell you what to believe. I need to figure that out myself. But yeah, the lost continents of Atlantis and Lemuria. I've never heard of that. Lemuria. I've heard of Atlantis. Never have I heard of Lemuria. 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 Scholars and critics were quick to claim that much of the work was stolen from books of other and crank scholars like Ignatius Loyola Raleig's Book of Atlantis. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was already known. Nevertheless, the book sold extremely well, earning Madame Blavatsky immortality among die-hard followers of mysticism and popular lost worlds themes, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, that stuff conquers YouTube. Written in the same lofty, confusing style of her other works, The Secret Doctrine sets out the author's view that the Lemurians were the third of 7 root races of mankind. The fourth race was Atlanteans, who were said to have evolved from the Lemurians as Lemuria sank beneath the sea several thousands years ago. Interesting. Atlantis, which occupied a spur of ancient Lemuria, was destroyed about 1,000 years ago during a cataclysmic upheaval. Madame Blavatsky believed that refugees from that disasters escaped to Central Asia, where they evolved into Mongols and Europeans. She also suggests that survivors might have fled to America, where they intermarried with Indians and gave them the technology to build the great monuments of Mexico and elsewhere. It was in India, while researching her book, that Madame Blavatsky was introduced to masters, or Mahatmas. The Mahatma supposedly were spirit forces dwelling in the mysteries and remote mountains of Tibet. According to Madame Blavatsky, these lords of the unseen world confided great secrets to her during their travels together. Spectacular secrets about oddity travel, archaic history, and the cosmic future of mankind. That's pretty intense. Among the fundamental truths taught to her by the Mahatmas was reincarnation, the belief that all people living on planet are brothers immortal, living and reliving their lives. By the late 1880s, Madame Blavatsky was the principal of her international fame and fortune, but fate was gearing up to deal her a crushing blow. A report written by famed English psychic investigator Richard Hodgson accused the great spiritual leader of being a fraud. For our part, Hodgson wrote, we regard her as the mouthpiece of hidden seers, nor as a mere vulgar adventuress. We think that she has achieved a title to permanent remembrance as one of the most accomplished, ingenious, and interesting empires of history. Even devout I can't say that word. Theosophists began to regard their former with suspicion. Some questioned her stability, while others called her a potentially dangerous woman. Growing numbers argued that occult should take her place as head of the organization. Weary and frail, the once powerful mystic agreed to step aside, then retired to a friend's house in London. On May 1891, Madame Blavatsky died quietly in her sleep. The old Theosophist's body was cremated at Woking Cremation in Surrey, England. That's pretty crazy. I want to find her books and read them. The Secret Doctrine, and there's another one called Theosophy and Theosophist. I'm not sure if that's how you say, if you say Theosophy or Theosophy. I don't know how you say that word. I really want to find her book, The Secret Doctrine. Interesting stuff. So that's two very interesting people there that I've discovered. I've discovered there was a guy known to be the Emperor of the United States, and now I've discovered the High Priestess of mysticism in the United States here, Madame Blavatsky. And I picked them at random, which is interesting because I myself have been on a spiritual journey, and I've discovered three interesting people right now from reading these books. I discovered a poet named Pedro Pietri from Puerto Rico, who had a very strange sense of humor that is really funny, but his humor brought you meaning and truth that was deeper, right? It's kind of interesting. And then discovering this Joshua Abraham Jordan the first emperor of the United States is really funny. And then this Madame what's her name? Madame the writer of the Secret Doctrine, Theosophist, the creator of the Theosophical Society, Madame Blavatsky. Very interesting. I want to follow up with all of that and figure out a connection there. And the poetry that I read was very interesting. So much deep meaning there. Well, thanks for tuning in. We're reading some interesting sections from these random books that I have. I can hear my little puppy out there. Hello, Lee. You out there? Hey, Poopy. Hey, Poopy. Poopy's crying out there. She wants to come in. She's crying. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Hi, Puppy. Hey, how you doing? You cold outside? Hi. Kisses? What? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? It's a mess in here, I know. I've literally just been coasting on savings and just relaxing, reading books, building up this channel. I don't like the winter. I become a humbug. I become a recluse. Hey, come here. Come here, you. Come here, puppy. Come here. Come here. go. There you go. Look who's here. Come on. We got a little puppy. We got a little puppy here. What? What are you doing? So this is Lolita. She's got some videos that you can watch. Her just being cute. It's funny, her videos get... I got one video that's almost got 8,000 views of just her just being cute. What are you doing? What? No, 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 no. Don't go over there. Don't go over there. Don't go over there. Stay here. Stay here. You sleepy? Is that why you want to go over there? You sleepy? No. She got comfy. Alright, we're just chilling here. Let's read from a few more passages from this little book. Find dignity. Live with style, win, lose, or draw with elegance. Carry yourself lightly. Give more than you take. Praise more than you criticize. Tread gently on earth. All right, it's pretty good. Hey, puppy, what are you doing? What are you doing? You go outside? Want to go outside? Huh? What? 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 Hmm? Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go outside with the puppy. And just hang out with the puppy. I might go take a nap. Because I was up at 3 a.m. And, nope. Not sure what this is. And, yeah. Come on, puppy. Santa Maria, Madre de Dios, Santa Maria, Madre de Dios. There you go. Santa Maria, Madre de Dios. I have a lot of those blankets because I get them for Christmas, like every year, from my mom. I have about 20 of those Virgin Mary blankets. There's the puppy. Bye. I don't know why she's running. Looks like my phone's about to die. Hey, have you been digging a hole over here? You have. Oh, look how big that hole is, dude. Wow, look at you. Oh. Here we go. Look at all these leaves. It's crazy. You know what's funny? She only likes to go to the bathroom when it's like really leafy. She doesn't like going on the grass. She only goes poo and pee in the leaf area. I think that's funny. Alright, I'm just gonna sit here for 15 minutes and get some sun. think it's a good idea. What do you think? Look at that glare. That little green. Do you see the green glare, or is that just me? Very interesting. I wonder if it like messes up your lens if you zoom in the sun. Look at that glare though. That green glare is pretty intense. Trying to get a clear, visible view of the green glare. Can you see it? Oh, I heard a squirrel. Nope. I don't see him. I heard it though. I heard him. Lolly, come here. Come here, Lolly. What are you doing? Once I was out here, like I want to say like 3-4 months ago, and there was a giant owl sitting on this tree. It was the size of a human. I kid you not. It was enormous. It scared the crap out of me, and I was scared for Loli because she was out going for a pee, you know, and she kept barking at something. So I go out and look at it. I kid you not. There was a huge, ginormous owl just chilling in one of these branches, and it was freaking ginormous. And I thought it was an alien for a second, but it took off. It flew off, and when it flew off, I was like, "Holy cow!" I thought it was gonna eat my dog. I kid you not. But my dog kept barking at it, like rah, 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 like ferociously. So once I walk out, the owl like takes off, and I was like, "Oh my god!" That thing was trying to eat my dog. You doing okay, puppy? I won't let you get eaten by a bird. No. Are you going to the bathroom, or are you just sitting there? Are you just sitting there? Okay. Ah, you're soaking up the sun, aren't you? Yeah, feels good. Feels good to soak up that sun, doesn't it? Look at her. She's just having a good time. So warm. Yeah. I'm gonna do the same. Let me get some sun. Just sit in this chair for 15 minutes. And just get some really good sun. It's been a while since I've done this. So let's do it. 15 minutes. Let's count it off. It's 35. 30. It's 10 right now. It's 12 and the sun is not directly above us. It's more to the side. Let's find it interesting. Of course, winter time. It's 12. The sun is not directly above us. It's to the side at a degree. The degree is it's not 90. It's more like a 60 degree angle. What does that mean? I don't know what it means. Just an observation for the day. Oh, it feels so good. Oh my gosh, that sun feels so good. The warmth is intense. Well, I can, but my nose is stuffy for some reason. That was okay. It could be better. I like doing these breath exercises. They make me feel really good. The combination of the sun, right? I'm just looking, I'm staring right at the sun, but with my eyes closed. And I can really feel the intensity of it. Feels good. Combine that with the breathing. Getting better. I definitely see within my mind's eye, I see nothing but pure gold all around me, like in my visual, with my eyes closed. Usually when you close your eyes, you see black darkness, but looking at the sun, everything becomes golden. So much better. Last night I was up at 3 a.m. observing the moon, just talking, and I had the camera pointing up at the sky. And for 2 seconds that I turned the camera around like this to talk to you, to see, so you can see my face, a shooting star happened, and I looked up at the corner of my eye when I saw it. It just got cloudy. Man, cloud went right over the sun. I don't feel the warmth anymore, but yeah, there was a shooting star last night. It was crazy. I was admiring the moon, and you can see like little points that look like a little series of stars, or maybe a series of planets that were maybe lining up. And I was just talking about it, how cool I thought it was, and a little shooting star happened. It was the coolest thing I ever saw. I've seen one before, but I've never seen one that big. It was a huge streak of just, it looked like a lightsaber, like, and it was gone like that. And it was perhaps one of the coolest things I've ever seen recently. I didn't make a wish. I didn't make a wish upon a shooting star. And I did plead for the universe to show me another shooting star, but it didn't happen. Well, maybe I didn't stay long enough. Who knows? Maybe it did happen and I didn't stay long enough. But the sun is covered now. It's completely covered by clouds. That cloud literally came out of nowhere. And I can't tell which way it's moving. I can't tell which way the cloud. It's going to the left. It's going to the left. Yeah, it's moving to the left, but slowly. Man, it's moving to the left so slowly. It's ridiculous. Well, not that slow. Compared to the tree, you can kind of see how the movement's pretty quick. Maybe it just looks slow because it's massive. It's funny how it looks like cotton, but it's literally nothing. It's just what is it? It's just water vapor. Like it's literally nothing. You can't like when you're in an airplane, you fly through it. It just looks like heavier air, right? So it's just funny to me that clouds from down here look like cotton, you know? It's just gases and vapors mixing in the air. It's pretty intense. The atmosphere. I'm not sure what this cloud is. There's names for different clouds. I just hate that it freaking. I was trying to sunbathe and I was having a really good connection with sun, and this